ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्रीकृष्णचैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृन्द। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। मनोजवं मारुततुल्यवेगं जितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठं वातात्मजं वानरयूथमुख्यं श्रीरामदूतं शिरसा नमामि। कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविताशाखां वन्दे वाल्मीकिकोकिलम्। आपदामपहर्तारं दातारं सर्वसम्पदां लोकाभिरामं श्रीरामं भूयो भूयो नमाम्यहं। दक्षिणे लक्ष्मणो यस्य वामे च जनकात्मजाः पुरतो मारुतिर्यस्य तं वन्दे रघुनन्दनम्। In Lanka, Sri Hanumanji has been searching for Sita Devi as he is examining the inner chambers of Ravana. And after searching through thoroughly, he has not found Sita Devi. And as he has not found her, he is becoming anxious. His anxiety, as in this session we will hear, that it takes on a completely new dimension. And through Sri Hanuman, Valmiki Rishi is teaching us some important tattva, an important fact of life that is true for any spiritual aspirant, which we will see exactly what that is as we go along. So chapter 12 begins with Hanuman, who was very, very anxious, started searching the entire area that he has searched all over again. And this time he was looking through creepers. He went through Ravana's museums and galleries, art galleries. He went into all the other residential places of all of his followers, but he could not find Sita Devi. Then Hanuman said, she is such a beloved of Sri Ramachandra. I'm searching for her. What if she's not even alive? And he says, I could not see her, even though I have searched every nook and cranny almost as I can imagine. Perhaps Sita Devi, who's very, very chaste to Sri Ramachandra, must have just been killed by this wicked Ravana. Or Sita Devi, Janaki, would have fallen unconscious out of fear for Ravana, looking at all the distorted, ugly faces of people in Lanka, especially their maids of Ravana. Oh, they look gory. I said, I have spent a long time, pretty much my entire life with the Vanaras. I've not succeeded in finding Sita Devi. I'm scared. If I go back to Sugriva with the news that, hey, I made that jump all the way to Lanka, but I could not find Sita, then I would be going back without fulfilling the mandate given to me. Who knows? Sugriva may punish me very, very severely. So either I'm going to die in Sugriva's hands because I did not complete my task, or I'm going to completely get exhausted not finding Sita Devi. I've searched through Ravana's internal quarters, his kitchens, his bars, his bedrooms, his play area, his gardens, everything I've searched. I have not seen this great Sita Devi. Seems like all my efforts have become wasted. When I go back, if and when I go back, all the Vanaras will ask me, "So, how was it in Lanka? Did you find Sita Devi?" What will I tell them? And they would ask me, "Oh, great hero Hanuman, what was your accomplishment? What all did you take care of?" I wouldn't have an answer for them that is convincing and satisfying enough for any of them. The time limit that Sugriva had given is more than expired. Now, the Vanaras who were waiting on the other side of the ocean, Jambavan, Angada, Nila, etc., they may be fasting unto death. What am I going to do? And even if I go back, before I meet Sugriva, I will meet Jambavan. I will meet Angada. And I have to say something to them. While considering like this, slowly and slowly becoming more and more despondent that his mission is not successful because he has put in all the effort that he can, and yet success seems so far away. Valmiki Rishi tells us that Sri Hanuman began to consider. And this is where Hanuman is, I guess, motivating himself, and he's talking to himself. Hanumanji says, Anirvedah Shriyo Moolam, Anirveda Param Sukham, Anirvedo hi Satam Sarvartheshu Pravartakaha. Pravartakaha means the transformer. So this word Anirveda means being free from despondency or being free from despair. In Bhagavad Gita, we're used to hearing the phrase Vishada or some Udvigna, disturbance. So in Nirveda means becoming despondent or dealing with despair or being in despair. Anirveda means being free of it. So Hanumanji is considering my becoming despondent or being in despair is not going to help me, because being free from despair is the root cause of prosperity. Anirvedaha Shreyaha Mulam. If one needs to succeed, one needs to do anything in life, one should not lose one's hope or motivation. And that the opposite of that is to lose it and become full of despair. And he says, Anirvedaha Param Sukham. The being free of despondency gives a person a kind of joy to keep going. Anirvedo hi satatam sarvartheshu pravartakaha. And it is the one that transforms, makes failure become success, makes loss look like profit. It is perseverance that comes from not becoming despaired. So he's telling himself, no, don't give up. Karoti saphalam janto karmaha yattat karoti saha. Tasmad anirvedaktam yatnam cheshte hanumatam. Bhuyastava bhuyasta avadisheshyami deshan ravana palitam. Bhuyastavad vicheshyami. I am going to search all over again. Desham Ravana Palitam, this entire region that is under Ravana's rule. He says, Tasmad Anirveda Kritam Yatnam Cheshte. Hanuman was thinking that I'm not going to give up hope. I'm going to try all over again. It means if I have to start from zero. And that is what makes Hanuman try one more time. If we consider the life of a sadhaka on, on a path of spiritual enlightenment, then we notice that effort on one's part is required. Effort actually is necessary, but not sufficient. It is what is the ingredient the sadhaka or the practitioner brings into this process. But that is not sufficient. Effort needs a partner, and that partner is called grace. In the language that we are used to, that Srila Prabhupada taught us, we call it descending mercy. Now, one may think, uh, what is the effort for? What is the reason, or unto what end am I putting my effort? Common sense or colloquial understanding is that effort is to get something done. As they say, karmanyeva adhikaraste. It is your duty to perform your duty. It is your eligibility, your right to perform duty. Actually, effort is not to be put to get things done, but the effort actually is to be put in to evoke that mercy. A slight difference, but huge impact on efforts. Some people try very hard to manipulate matter for a desired outcome. That is called effort in the general definition. But a devotional understanding of effort is that one tries very hard not to manipulate matter, but to seek and evoke the mercy of the Supreme Lord. That is what effort is. A pastime that we are very, very familiar with is Mother Yashoda trying to bind Krishna with ropes used for tying cattle. She used ropes from all her 900,000 cows, and yet every time she tries, the rope was 2 fingers too short. And we know from the commentaries of the great teachers that the 2 fingers short represent one, her effort, and second, his mercy. Her effort, although it looks like as if the effort is to put that knot, actually the effort is in trying to please him. Although he's crying, yet it is to please him. It is giving him a lot of pleasure seeing Mother Yashoda struggling to put that knot on. And the second one is his mercy. Only then that knot is possible. Krishna likes to be bound in the ropes of love of his devotees. So here, Hanumanji's effort is definitely there. He's showing us that as a sadhaka, we need to consider one, are we putting in enough effort? Are we putting in effort in the right direction? And third, are we or is the sadhaka primarily looking for outcomes or is looking for the pleasure of the Lord and waiting for the Lord's mercy? Tattenukampam susamikshamaanaha. Samaikshamanaha. One who is eagerly awaiting the mercy of the Lord. So Sri Hanumanji said, I've considered and searched through all of his dining areas. I've looked through all his gardens, museums, art galleries, the place where he sports, all of that, and I've searched the entire Pushpaka Vimana. I can't find her. But again, he started searching one by one all of the places, starting from the basements to the rooms and quarters, his temples, homes, rooms within these homes, their front yard, backyard, basement, terraces, hidden rooms, everything. He was going from one room to another, one front yard to the backyard to another front yard. He was opening different doors, searching, closing them, crossing from one home into another, jumping from one wall into another, searched and searched all over again. In fact, Valmiki says he searched so thoroughly that there was no space that even 4 fingers could fit in that he had not searched. Nothing. There was every little nook, cranny, inch or square inch was searched for Sita Devi. Inside the boundary walls, outside the boundary walls, in the shrines, on the altars, in the wells, in the tanks, in the rivers, in the ponds, in the lakes. Hanuman saw that there were all these Rakshasis of different forms and features, ugly, scary, gory. Some of them were deformed, but he couldn't find Sita Devi. He saw the women of the Vidyadharas, very angelic, beautiful, but no Janaki there. He saw the ladies from the Naga regions of the universe. I was going to say Nagaland, from the Naga regions of the world, very exquisitely beautiful. So charming that their limbs were extremely exquisite and beautiful, but no Sita Devi. So Hanuman again became despondent. Where is Sita Devi? Am I ever going to find her again? So Hanuman considers Udyogan, this is Valmiki telling us, Udyogam Vanarendranam Plavanam Sagarasya cha Vyartham Vikshyan Anila Sutans Chintam Punar Upagamat. Anila Atmaja, Anila Suta, the son of the wind god, Chintam, began to worry. And the worrying was that Udyogam Vanarendranam Plavanam Sagarasya cha Vyartham. He was thinking that all this effort that he had made to jump across the ocean 100 yojanas, whether that has become wasted, vyartham. And so, Chintam Punarupagamat, he became worried all over again. And so, today's lesson, although short, it's important for us to consider, as I said previously, one, to not give up hope and to not give up the effort required in the search for our soul. This soul, although very obvious that it exists, Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita tells us that it is not easily visible. It is very minute, seemingly, and sits in the region of the heart, but it's not something one can search easily. And the process is not a physical, mundane search, but a spiritual search. And in that spiritual search, the effort is that one sees the soul by the grace of the Supreme. And so the effort, generally when we hear the word effort, the mundane sense which we are very accustomed to, the conditioned sense, is putting in a lot of physical effort into a certain outcome. So a checkpoint for us through Valmiki's Ramayana is: 1. Am I making enough effort? Second, am I making effort in the right direction, as I said earlier? That is my effort directed towards drawing from the Supreme Lord His mercy? Will He be inclined to show His mercy upon me? Will Sita Devi be inclined to giving me the required energy, enthusiasm, affection, spontaneity required to seek His mercy? We say, as Prabhupada taught us, that in chanting Hare Krishna, we are requesting for service. That's the effort. We are requesting, "Oh Hara, the energy of the Supreme Lord, kindly engage me in the service of your beloved." And that's the effort. The effort is in seeking mercy. Although on the physical plane, Hrishikena Hrishikesha Sevanam. On the physical plane, the effort seems like is being done for a material outcome. Yes, outcome is important. For example, very simple, we want to make an offering of rice to the deity. It requires the rice be washed, properly measure the quantity of water in proportion to the rice, to place it on the gas stove, and to actually boil the water, cook it, put on the lid, make sure it doesn't get burned, that the grain is cooked and soft enough, etc. So there's effort, but that's the effort anybody else who's not an sadhaka can put in to cook rice. But what distinguishes a devotee from one who's not? The distinction is that one is constantly seeking the mercy of the Lord, because with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy, the impossible can become possible, and without His mercy, even the so-called possible can be impossible. Sri Ramachandra, Sri Lakshmana, and Sita Devi are more than eager to give their mercy to us. Prabhupada used the analogy of tuning the radio to receive the message of a particular station. He said that a station is constantly broadcasting its message. Whether or not our radio is tuned in will determine whether that message from that radio station can be accessed. So the question is our effort, the measure of our effort, the direction of our effort, the orientation of our effort in tune with receiving that mercy. So on the physical plane, the senses are acting, the body is acting. On the subtle plane, where the mind, intelligence, and ego are there, is that effort in line? Is the mind desiring the pleasure of the Lord? Is the intelligence directing the mind to seek that outcome versus some other outcome, some other mundane outcome? And is the ego tuned in a way to think of itself as the servant of the Supreme instead of as the doer or the enjoyer? And between the physical and the subtle, guess which is more important? The subtle. It is the subtle orientation that determines whether one will receive mercy or not. Now, mercy can come in another way, and that mercy is also mercy, but keeps the person within this cycle of birth and death. But our goal is something else. Our goal is to be able to serve the supreme couple without the encumberment of the physical body. We are looking for Nitya Seva. And for that, Hanumanji is teaching us to not become easily despaired. Anirvedam, that's the word to remember. With that, I am going to take a break and we'll come back again next week where we will find out what's the other aspect, the mercy aspect that Hanumanji received, and what is it that he did to get the mercy of Sri Ramachandra, Lakshmana, and Sita Devi. Until we meet again, may our attention and intention go towards putting our efforts in the direction of seeking the mercy of the Supreme Lord and the Supreme couple, Sri Sita and Ramachandra. And as always, Sri Hanumanji is our hero who inspires us and guides us to become very, very determined and loving and inspired servants of them. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Shri Sri Sitaram Lakshman Hanumanji ki Jai.